Hi, I'm Shu. This is a video about me moving into my London studio flat. Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be a little bit of a bittersweet video. As you can tell from the title, it's going to be why I am leaving my central London studio flat, which I have lovingly called over the past 2 years the studio, with this iconic background. But before I get into all of the many reasons why I'm going to be leaving, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Audible, who'll be sponsoring this segment, and I specifically want to talk about Sleep Sound with Jamie Dornan, which is why I am wearing my pajamas, because we're going to get ready for bed. I'm sure Audible needs no introduction because it has the world's largest collection of titles across so many different genres. So whether you're looking for something that's more current affairs, a documentary, you want comedy, sports, drama, or even something for your children, they've got it all. We're going to specifically talk about Sleep Sound with Jamie Dornan. He actually takes you all around the world through a lot of escapist content. Imagine yourself getting tucked into bed, putting on this episode on, and Jamie Dornan will talk to you everywhere from taking you to a Mexican beach, or we can go to the Amazon rainforest together, and basically there's loads of different scenes from all around the world that you can get cozied up on and travel with him together, and it is very, very relaxing before bed. So I'm going to be enjoying this a lot more during my final evenings here in the studio. If you would like to try out Audible for the first time, click on the link down below in my description box, or I'll put it on the comment as well so it's easier to access. Let's get ready for bed, have a little cozy night in the studio, because we're not going to see many videos of this setting anymore, and then tomorrow when it's bright and early we can then sit down and have a little bit of a natter. Let's go.
So take a deep breath, relax, and join me on this escape to sleep.
Okay, it's now the next day and I felt like I'm ready to tell you about why I'm moving out of the studio. And I'll start off with the first one about where I am moving to, and that is outside of central London into zone 2 and 3 with my boyfriend. Things are obviously going very, very well, and we are now progressing in our relationship into the next step, and it's a very, very exciting chapter. There are so many pros that comes with living alone. There's so much more independence. I learned to, really cook a lot, which is introducing my relationship with my air fryer. We're still going strong, don't worry. But what I did not like, as you'd expect from living in central London, was the cost of everything. It's very expensive here. As you know, I am also a full-time travel blogger, so travel's been opening up. I've been going out and about in international work trips, press trips. I've been working at the BBC a few days a week, which another announcement to come. There's been a lot of change in my personal life. I've got events I started back up again, social plans, relationship plans with family, and I'm never in this flat. It just made me question, why am I saving up so much and working so hard only for it to all go towards rent for a place that I'm not even staying in and making the most out of. Over lockdown, after restrictions are lifted, I really made the most out of living in a studio flat. I had friends going around, we had cocktails, we'd go to all the bars and restaurants in the area, we'd walk into town, walk back from town, going to events. I didn't have to worry about, there being no transport links back, because there was always a way to get back to the flat. Okay, I've just put up the blinds so there's a little bit more light coming in. Another reason is the location. As great as it is being in central London, the flat here, it's got single glazing windows, so I will not miss the loud noises, because being in central London, as you expect, it gets very, very hectic, it gets very, very loud, and there's so much going on. I always have like people singing outside my windows, which is great sometimes, not so great at 3 a.m. when you're trying to sleep. I have the market going on, I've got the traffic going on, I can hear beeps and conversations, I can hear people shouting at each other. I didn't even realise how much I would care about the single glazed windows until moving into a quieter place, and now I'm suddenly like, oh my gosh, now my sleep cycle is so much better, my sleep has improved, and I just feel like I'm less stressed all the time, because it's so fun living in central London, but also it gives you this conscious and unconscious pressure to have to always be doing something, always have things lined up, and to always be go and busy all the time, because you're like, I want to make the most of being in this location. It's central, it's so close to everything. I've got bars and restaurants at like our doorstep, quite literally. Where I'm moving to now, there's so much more green space. I'll be able to walk. It's so much more quiet in a residential area. The only thing is there's not as many food spots, but I've already picked out all of my favorite things, and the food there is fantastic, and also means I can like actually cook more, stop relying on delivery. I will be able to have so much more kitchen space, because having the 2 little hobs, like, let me show you. Like, look at this. I mean, also exclusive to us because I've actually not really been here very much, but 2 little like hobs. It's not been very, very good cooking wise, and also I love to cook for others. Like, I find joy in cooking to be able to share a meal, so I couldn't find much joy just cooking for myself, and the place here I just couldn't properly host. I can have friends around for like a drink or 2 and things like that, and then we head out afterwards, but I want to be able to like properly cook like a 3-course dinner and have some wine and have space to like chill out in afterwards and things like that. I think I'm just at the stage of my life now, I don't know, maybe because I'm entering my 30s. Another aspect is the socialization part. I always identify as more of an extrovert, so I recharge by being with other people and being around other people. And as much as I loved actually having this own space, and for the first 2 years, because I was editing and filming so much from the studio, but me being me, like, I do get quite twitchy after a few hours. Like, I love my own company, I love my own time, and I really, really love that being here, because I can just like walk around and chill and have no pressure to answer to anyone or to do anything. But at the same time, I would just crave being able to speak to someone, so I'd FaceTime and call, but it's not quite the same as having the energy of somebody close to you, and to be able to like bounce ideas off, and to be able to have like little mini coffee breaks, or like have a little bit of a chat and be like, oh, what should we have for dinner and things like that. And I just love being around people, so that has been like a massive bonus, to be able to find a balance between that, whether we're both working from home or whether like he's out during the day and I'm editing, and then suddenly we'll see each other afterwards and have lots to catch up on. Like, that's such a lovely dynamic that I didn't really have here before. It's just nice having someone around that you want to talk about your day or watch something on Netflix together, and not be doing that yourself. And that can get quite lonely at times if I'm not in like the mental state to be able to enjoy it. Like, if I'm having a particularly anxious day and I want to be able to like just enjoy the present moment, enjoy it with someone that I love, I'm able to have that now. Being in London as well, being able to like save on so much by combining the costs does dramatically make such a huge difference, and it means that I'm able to now have a little pot that I can now put towards savings, and I can now like reinvest back into a rainy day, and to be able to like save for things now, rather than like being so stretched and panicked about it. But because a few years ago I just wanted to like make the most of it, I wanted to be in the moment and things like that, and now I'm like, no, I don't, because like having to pay a lump sum of things, and I need to mention that I had to pay in quarterly chunks, because I am self-employed. When I first moved into here, the estate agent was like, okay, well, we were in the middle of a pandemic, and it being quite a high cost, and I'm living solo, that I said I'm happy to be able to pay a quarterly payment because of the nature of my work. And there's one side of it I love doing, because it meant that I'm able to pay a big lump sum for the per 3 months, and I didn't have to worry about rent at all after that. But it also meant that I was always anxious, because this big looming figure over me, that I was just constantly saving towards and just so scared about. And then once that left, it was heartbreaking to be like, oh, to me, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people may think that it was a lot of money, but for me it was a lot of money to suddenly leave your bank account, and you're like, everything you've just worked for the past few months, it just materializes and vanishes. And it's just such like a big dramatic drop, and they're not the highs and lows that I am after from living in central London, if I'm honest. And also just being so anxious. I've been like, when's the invoice going to drop? Like, I'm self-employed, like what happens if things, you know, don't come out, or I don't have a campaign coming, like what am I going to do? And I think that's also why I end up trying to be smarter about things, and being able to build out lots of different types of income streams for myself, because then I had that to fall back on, and I always knew, like, whether I'm editing or I'm filming for somebody else, or I'm writing, or whether I'm focusing on Instagram or YouTube or the BBC, or going freelance for other clients and picking up other jobs. I had about like 6-7 different sources, and I ended up building that. But then I would always constantly be working because I was just so scared that something would happen. You just have to always think about potential worst case scenarios that could happen, and living the way that I was living, hands up, like it wasn't very smart in terms of budgeting and things like that. And I think now I'm just kind of at a stage where I'm like, I don't really want to be having that lifestyle anymore. I now want to be able to enter into a new era where I just feel a lot more self-assured, and a lot more like I don't really crave this constant chase for adrenaline anymore. I'm perfectly comfortable in not waking up after too many late nights and with anxiety and all those things. Like I want to be able to have this time for myself, to enrich myself, my mind, my body, and to focus on that for the time being. What a brilliant 2 years. It's been so fantastic, and I can't wait to see what the next few months, the future will entail. And of course I'll be documenting everything along the way, the good and the bad, because that's who we are. We embrace all sides of life. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going on this chapter with you together. Let's do this. We're now entering into our 3rd decade now. Can't believe I'm turning 30 next month. Can you believe it? I am going to be filming a bunch of casual vlogs of moving out ones, moving in ones, going like shopping for furniture, and then hopefully bringing to you a whole series of like homeware things and home cooking, and cozy moments, coupled with the usual travel content and the living in London and the lifestyle and the food and all of that kind of stuff. I really hope you're going to enjoy it, and that you're going to follow along and continue this journey with me. If you would like to listen to the Sleep Sound with Jamie Dornan episode by Audible, then I will leave a link down below for you to access, and I highly recommend it. It's been so good spending these last few nights in the studio over the next month, just listening to this and being like, oh, I'm just embracing this bed space and this space for myself. But no, it's been so wonderful, and thank you again for your continued support with the sponsors as well. And thank you so much to all of your love over the past 2 years with this tiny little studio. It's been so wonderful. I'm going to miss this beautiful sunshine yellow wall. Oh, I'm tearing up as usual when I film these kind of videos. But yeah, it's going to be an emotional few months. Let's go with it, and I can't wait. But I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.